Conscious Collaboration brings together entrepreneurs, changemakers, and thought leaders. We aim to highlight the people that embody the idea of aligned mind, body, and business. Each week, we share, discuss, and learn from the various experiences and ideas of our guest experts. Through our discovery, we find a path to an aligned mind, body, and business.
Hi, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Emily, and we are the Conscious Collaboration Podcast. What up, y'all? What up, Lisa?
Hey, Emily. How you doing?
How you doing? I'm good. I'm chilling.
Good.
Yeah. I forgot we're recording this on video now, so hopefully.
Yes.
Should we do our teeth check on air?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a norm. That's a normal thing to do.
Oh, the life of an entrepreneur.
It's very glamorous.
Just kind of everything on the go. So today's topic, since this is coming out in the week of, or the week before, I guess, Christmas, we're going to talk about how to not overdo it, how to not overindulge, specifically how to not overeat at your holiday festivities. Going to give you some very simple strategy to overcome that, and maybe touch on some energetic aspects as well. In fact, we'll start there. And since we are doing the I Ching readings online for the people now, we'll go ahead and let you start off with the I Ching energy reading around this topic, and then we'll get into the topic and the tips.
Yeah, so really quickly, we're just going to focus in on talking about these overindulgences and temptations that we're faced with this time of year and continues throughout the whole winter season. I'd say until we get into really like March, right, with all the holidays. So what's the energy around this and what
March?
Well,
you must be eating the Valentine's Day chocolates.
Yeah, Valentine's Day. President's Day.
Easter in there. President's Day. What do you eat on President's Day?
So, like, what's the energy around these temptations and overindulgences, and how can we navigate through them and still maintain some harmony in our lifestyle?
Yeah, and look, like, here's the thing. I am super big on, creating a balance and still finding a way to enjoy yourself. There are some other energetics, I guess, surrounding food and family and celebration that make like counting your macros and stuff like that not the most important thing at the holidays. But it is just so easy, especially if we're doing like multiple events, you've got different people's homes to go to, in-laws, whatever. It can be so much. And we feel obliged to eat, and then we're stressed. So we're stress eating. And, it's already a time where we really ought to be vigilant about our stress and about our mental health, just because of all the other things surrounding it and the seasonal affective disorder stuff we could have going on. So just overeating, on food outside of just enjoying yourself in a balanced way can really be detrimental to the stress and the mental health part of it as well. Because if you feel like shit, which you're going to if you just go crazy, then you're going to feel like shit everywhere else as well, and it's just going to be harder to sort of make that post holiday bounce back, come back, and get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, well, hopefully we're not having to bounce back, right? Hopefully we're able to.
Right. Ideally, we just do this to where we can enjoy ourselves and find some balance, and find a little bit of indulgence, conscious indulgence, and not have to take it to a level where we
So as you were talking, I pulled, and everyone can see in the video on YouTube, I pulled
along
two
with the spinach in my
hexagrams
teeth.
from my deck. And yes, check your teeth. And the first hexagram, the energy around what we're talking about right now, wait until you hear the meaning behind it. It's hexagram number 10, which is treading carefully.
Oh, okay.
So
Little
as you
Walter
were
White
talking,
for you.
that's why I was
Red
smiling,
light.
because it was just telling the story of what you were describing. And
Yeah.
then some insights and unique tidbits that we can add to the conversation is within the energy of 33 retreat.
Ooh, I like that number.
Yes, it is a good number, right? So while you were talking, Emily, I was reading this, and like I couldn't have planned it any better. But it says competent people find their way and make progress even in difficult circumstances, right? So we're going to find a way to navigate this with competency and not just
Mhm.
a wild abandon into the unknown of what kind of trouble we could get ourselves into in terms of indulgence.
Yeah. All you need is a little plan, a little strategy.
Yeah, exactly. So it talks about yeah, like mainly don't do anything that awakens the sleeping tiger, that whole
Mm.
story there. Um, it's not really a good time for taking any big initiatives rather than trying to get by with some grace and good humor. So
So maybe
really,
we're not trying to, start the entire overhaul
yeah,
right on December 24th, but yeah, we're using some conscious uh decision making.
yeah, just don't go beyond your capacity. You're
Oh,
going to
cool.
create problems if you overthink things at this time.
Mm.
Keep your ambitions in check, and really just it just says withdrawing from the bustle of events and
Mhm.
eliminating unnecessary desires brings clarity and purpose. So going back to the whole concept of maybe you don't need to go to all the events if you're not feeling it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay to say no, or you
It
don't
is
want
okay to say no. Yeah.
the basket of brownies that someone sends you because they love working with you.
Right.
Be grateful for what you do have. No striving aggressively right now could put you in a position of greater difficulty. Really maintain being humble. And in terms of retreat, too, and we can weave this in, I'm sure, in your tips as you're talking about nutrition, and movement and body and awareness. All worthy goals meet some resistance. And when negative forces predominate, a well timed retreat can be a good move for keeping your energy up and allowing you to persevere. So it's
Yeah.
a strategic retreat, not to be confused with escaping or surrendering.
Yeah. I
So
love it.
sometimes it's necessary to slow down, let go, or move back to a better position, to get yourself in a great place for future moves. And it's a skillful retreat too. That shows a sign of intellect and strength, just having that awareness. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I think that's totally relevant.
Hold your pride in check, and you will be better prepared to discover creative openings when they arise.
Okay.
Maintaining a sense of self confidence is essential, as small setbacks can easily become defeats if we're mired in self doubt or self pity. A
Mhm.
confident retreat can produce success.
Mhm. Well, and that kind of makes me think about um in terms of setbacks, almost like a well-meaning family member or members who are offended or upset or otherwise kind of make commentary about choices to not overindulge, uh you know things of that nature, people who take issue with your efforts to not overindulge in one way or another. So I think I could take that as
No.
like, have confidence in what you're doing, so that you're not creating poor health in yourself in the name of
Yeah.
making someone else comfortable or pleased.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? It's like, it makes other people feel more comfortable if they can, um, indulge or get you to drink if they want to drink, or get you to
Mhm.
eat the whole dessert if they're going to eat the whole dessert.
Right.
Like,
And
take everybody down.
yeah, and it's just yeah, we just gotta have the confidence in what we're doing to understand and you know not be not get our feathers too ruffled by that kind of thing.
Mhm.
'Cause
So how do
it will happen any kind of fitness journey. You can see that
Yeah.
amongst friends and family, but I think it could be especially noticeable around the holidays.
Yeah,
Maybe
how do
only just because you're all together and they can actually see it.
right. How do you handle and approach those types of situations?
Oh, people like giving you shit about it? Well,
Yeah.
I just have a personality where that actually kind of makes me want to do it harder.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm just personally a person who is not gonna go along with the crowd unless I believe in what the crowd is doing. So if I have my convictions and I'm gonna eat this way or not eat this way, it doesn't really matter
Mhm.
what anybody around me says. So
So
ask my mama.
I've seen before too. I don't know if this is one of your strategies or something that you recommend, but you tend to carry a lot of your must-haves with you if you're traveling, if you're going to work, if you're
Yeah. Yeah, well that's definitely part of the, planning aspect of it. If there is uh, I think an example of this would be, well, A, if you're competing, you may have to do something like that, just bring your own food. That's not actually the tip I'm suggesting here, but in a broader sense, if you have multiple holiday events, and especially if you have some specific body composition goals and whatnot, it might be necessary for you to bring your own, or if you have multiple dinners to attend or whatever, there could be circumstances where that is ideal, but it's not entirely necessary. And in fact, so for the strategy that I'm going to talk about, I did this exact thing on Thanksgiving, which happened to fall like 2 weeks ish, 2 weeks and change before my most recent competition, so really really in crunch time. But I did not actually track my food on Thanksgiving. I didn't weigh anything, and I did not bring my meal on Thanksgiving. Now, I did bring some meals through the rest of the week. My family was in town, some of my family, and they had an Airbnb and stuff. So I was kind of going there after work every day and hanging out. So I would, in anticipation of being able to, be more free on Thanksgiving, I was bringing my dinners over there at night and stuff like that, rather than having what they were having, and that was fine. But again, if you're not doing a competition or something like that, not entirely necessary.
Mhm.
Uh, so let's get into the simple strategy. Um, and this is especially great for the holidays because of the just simple availability of all these treats and excess. But you can really use this strategy every single day to naturally avoid overeating, without having to track, without having to weigh your food. So the strategy, most simply put, is this: protein first. Okay, protein first. What is protein? Protein is one of our three macronutrients that make up our calories, right? Our energy that we get from food. Protein is the most satiating, macronutrient, so it's going to fill you up the most. It also has what they call a higher thermic effect of food, so it actually costs your body more energy just to even digest it. Um, we've now got studies showing that it's kind of you don't want to call anything magic in terms of fat loss or fitness, but if there were a magic fat loss macronutrient, protein would be it. It has been shown in studies now that even when all things are equal as far as calories go, uh, in fat loss diets, high protein diets, calories equated are always have better results as far as fat loss and maintaining fat loss. So, protein first. So that's going to be, your chicken, meat, fish, love seafood, some dairy. I personally just like to use Greek yogurt, but dairy has some protein in it. Um, what else am I missing? Eggs. If you are vegan, your seitan, your tofu, that sort of thing. Just one little side note, nuts and seeds, while they do have some protein in them, they're not actually a protein source because of the proportions. They're actually really more of a fat source. So just to keep that in mind, if you get a big plate of nuts, you're not actually eating your protein first. So, protein first. So I am going to start my day with a meal high in lean protein. So, your less fattier meats, for me specifically, that looks like egg whites and extra lean, 96% lean ground beef in an omelet with some spinach. On these, days, uh, with holiday things to consider, I'm going to just go ahead and not have really fats or carbohydrates in that first meal, because most of the stuff that we're going to have access to, that we might tend to overeat on, is going to be higher in fats and carbohydrates. That's what makes foods more palatable. So, anticipating that we're going to get plenty of that in the rest of the day, I'm just going to have a nice high protein, lean protein meal to start the day. And then when you get to your holiday event, uh, you're going to load your plate up with a protein source first, whether you do turkey or ham, or if you're like my family and there is like shrimp etouffee present at holidays. I had turkey loaded with shrimp. It was amazing. I don't think I'll ever eat turkey any other way. But nonetheless, protein first. Again, load that holiday plate up with protein. You can get your other stuff. Try whatever else you want. Mac and cheese, dressing. That's what we call it in the South. Stuffing. Stuffing is dressing. Rice, whatever. I pretty much had a plate full of protein and like everything else carbs. We were laughing because nobody bothered to bring like any kind of green. So, um, but then eat your protein first, at least the majority of it, 85% of it. That way, you are going to be nice and full and satiated. And it is really hard. It is difficult to overdo it on the other stuff when you have already satisfied yourself with protein, because you're gonna, it's already got its satiating effects. It's also going to help you keep those blood sugar spikes and dips more level, so that which it should be said that it is completely normal and appropriate and healthy to have blood sugar spikes when you eat food. That is a normal bodily process. But if we can avoid these massive, spikes, which result in bigger dips, we can avoid feeling like crap on both ends of that. And then ultimately being really, really, really hungry again once that blood sugar dips. If we front load our protein in this way, we're gonna really avoid all of that for the most part. So that's really it. It's that simple. Protein first. If you remember nothing else about this episode, protein first. Start your day with a meal high in lean protein, and then load up your holiday plate with protein. Eat it first. Okay. Just doing that, I think you'll find will make a world of difference with just how much you naturally consume. And we'll tack on a little bonus. Um, Taking a digestion walk, even just like a 5-minute, 10-minute walk after you eat, uh, it can do wonders. I think that's a good habit to just have um, on most days. Um, for sure, help with bloating and things of that nature. But bonus points if you can take that digestion walk afterwards, and super bonus points if you can get in any kind of resistance training beforehand. Because the one thing that is, there's really nothing besides pharmaceuticals that can do this. But contracting your skeletal muscle, as in strength training, is actually like one of the most effective ways to immediately lower your blood sugar. Those muscles will take up that sugar, that glycogen, into the muscles, and therefore you've assimilated it in, you know, a better way. So a little bit of resistance training beforehand, super bonus points, digestion walk afterwards, regular bonus points. But if all else fails, protein first, you're setting yourself up for a much better day and a much better day after. And you still get to enjoy yourself.
I like it. That sounds pretty easy. So protein first, and then it's resistance training before, and
Just
then
because you're not going to want to do that afterwards.
walking afterwards.
Right, right, right.
But you could do it in any other order.
You could. You could. If you want to go squat after you eat a bunch of turkey, that's fine. I won't tell you not to. You probably won't.
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely easy and doable for anybody. I'm like reflecting back on my
It's
party
so easy.
interactions. Yeah.
And you know what? Regarding like people kind of giving you shit, it's really not even noticeable. you know? It's like it's kind of like, okay, you're not drinking and you don't want, you've got people who will give you hell for not drinking, so you walk around with a cup of ginger ale or whatever.
Mhm. Mhm.
I've never done that, but my dad used to do that. um, people, it's not that noticeable. So,
Mhm.
not that I think you should hide it. I think it's a good thing to possibly have influence over others in that way, to kind of show that, hey, I'm actually still enjoying myself, just
Mhm.
because I'm not like having 18 servings of pumpkin cheesecake doesn't mean I'm not going to have a little bit. And then because I've eaten my protein ahead of time, I don't want 18 servings. I'm good with my
Right.
one serving.
Right.
Mhm.
Well,
Mhm.
very good. Do you have any
Yeah.
parties coming up?
I don't think so.
You
Do you
could
wanna invite me to something? Do you have a
Yeah,
party
you
you're
can come. Yeah.
having?
I've got a few coming up.
I'll go.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, no. Party in my pants. Just kidding.
12-year-old revert back.
With Anchorman.
That
The
was a
party the
long
pants
time
party.
that you had to give very constructive, advice and tips. So
Yeah.
that little outburst was necessary, I think, to keep things in
Yeah.
check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was an adult for a really long time without
Mm.
being immature.
Yeah.
So,
Exhausting.
pants party.
Yeah, we were talking about indulgences and parties and that type of thing too within feng shui. And there's a lot to do with this time of year too, with everything being the colors of the season with red and green. So red is a very stimulating color and that will make you want to eat more than you normally would. So
Oh, okay.
yes. So if you can limit the amount of red that you're seeing, perhaps maybe not wear red, that may help you a little bit too with, keeping your hunger
Interesting.
less. So, you can think
Or
about,
just go stare at a steak if you're
yeah,
into that.
yeah, just stare at the protein first. Protein in your environment.
Maybe don't take that advice.
No, but that was a nice try. I could get behind that.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just
Yeah,
hungry.
but things that we can do to like calm our senses versus stimulate them visually will help a lot with reducing stress and anxiety, which might trigger you to eat a little bit more. So think about things that you can do to create in your environment that will calm you. Visually will keep the rest of your systems more even.
Hmm. Okay. Maybe a little
Yeah,
meditation
maybe
after
a little
your
meditation.
resistance training.
I mean, we talk about that too. What you're talking about with your diet and your approach to nutrition. It's very intentional. It's not just mindlessly eating or like grazing.
Yes, but at the same time, like manageable,
Mhm.
realistic.
It is.
That's really the most important thing. Is not that we try to be perfect, whatever that may mean to you, but that we are intentional and we create these better habits over time.
Mhm.
And I think that, starting to create these habits in the busiest time is actually the best way to go about it, because life's not going to stop getting busy. Holidays aren't going to stop happening. Things aren't going to stop being hectic and stressful. So, uh, i- you know, there's no reason to wait until things settle,
Mhm.
right? Because they're not gonna.
Right.
They're
Right.
not gonna.
Yeah, for all the
And
people
you'll
that
be a
think they're
lot
gonna.
better equipped, right,
Yeah.
to handle these things if we start to just go ahead and create these habits now while we're in the thick of things. And yeah, I think you'll find that they're really just manageable. Like it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I agree. What do you say, like, quick tips for anyone who feels they fall off the wagon
Just
and
get back
they.
on. Just get back on. There is no you can start to kind of get into these cycles of like punishing yourself for falling off, starving yourself for a day, or going and doing a bunch of cardio or whatever. Don't do it. Don't do that.
Mhm.
Just get back on the wagon and don't, or we will just go the other way and say fuck it. Like if I messed up once, I'm just
Yeah.
I messed everything up, so I'm just gonna go insane now. Don't do that.
So going back to the
Just be cool.
concept of like the tips going forward and the energy of retreat, it says, remember, not all progress follows a straight line.
No,
Mhm.
never. Almost never. Almost never.
Yeah.
Almost never. And really, I mean, like I said, you want to create these habits so that you can set yourself up to be able to enjoy things
Mhm.
and not get on these falling off the wagon, just spiral,
Yeah.
you know, paths.
Yeah.
Um we're human. We should enjoy some food freely without weighing it or tracking it. Of
Mhm.
course, we
Mhm.
should enjoy, I'm from Louisiana. Food is a tool of celebration, and we should still be able to uh, do that kind of
Yeah.
thing, but without it taking away from our quality of life.
Yeah.
And do it in a way that
making it
adds
like
to our
the
quality
focus.
of life. And
Yeah.
so that's the purpose of these kind of, tips and tricks, hacks, whatever you want to call it, is so that we can set ourselves up to be able to enjoy ourselves and not just feel like, oh my God, that whole meal just stuck to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I like
Mhm.
it. I'm ready. If I have a party
Okay.
coming up, you're coming with me.
Okay.
Whoa. Thank you,
Bring the
Emily.
green hat.
Yeah, bring the green hat. Come on.
Yes.
Yeah. One day.
Yeah. Some good
One,
good Will Ferrell cameos in
yes,
today's
always.
episode. Mhm.
Good time of year for that. Well, what do you say we take this conversation inside of the Facebook group?
What do you say? Let's do
Yes.
it.
Um, so everybody can come join us inside of the Conscious Collaboration Collective and our closed and private Facebook group. And also now you can find us on YouTube. You can watch what we actually look like while we're doing these and check our teeth for us. Um, yes. Maybe see
Yes.
like
And
what the
drop us a line if you have any tips and tricks that have
yeah.
worked for
Yeah,
you.
but I'm sure there's lots of people that have some good insights, and we'd like to hear, what your wins and your downfalls are. So maybe Emily, you can help give a little bit of guidance inside the group. And yeah, well, thanks. I learned a lot. Thanks, Emily.
Thank you, Lisa.
I'll talk to you in 5.
Talk to you in 5. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank y'all so much for listening to our podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends so they can join our circle of collaboration on this journey. You can find us on Instagram at Conscious Collaboration Podcast, on Spotify, iTunes, and Audible, to name a few. Please join us next time for another deep dive into how you can live life in more alignment, mind, body, and business. Send us your questions and comments in our DMs or email us at consciouscollaborationpodcast@gmail.com. See you in 5 minutes.